Hey guys, and welcome back to another flashlight review. And this here is the Scoutlite Vario Max 3000, and this thing pumps out a massive 3000 lumens. It's a flat style flashlight. It's a little bit thicker than your usual flat style flashlight, but it's still pretty lightweight. And it also has a red, amber, and white beam all in one. You can see them separated out there, and it's pretty rare that actually you find all three of these tint combinations in the same flashlight. So it's pretty simple to use. You've got these three pivot points here. So the top pivot point allows you to access that main white light. The center pivot point allows you to alternate between the amber and the red. You've also got a shortcut to turbo. Just press and hold on that top pivot point, and also a lock. 3000 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery in there. You do get a lanyard as well as a USB-C charging cable. Scoutlite also include a little user manual. And this is the box also if you want to pause the video and find out more information. You can see here they have a lifetime warranty, which is pretty rare for most flashlights out there. I don't know many that offer lifetime warranties. And some of the additional features here, specifications and output specifications here on the back. All right, so here's the Scoutlite Vario Max 3000 next to a few other flat style flashlights that I own. I've also got the Nikkor EDC 37. Can't really fit that in properly. I might just stick that up the top there. But you can see here it's about the same length as the Nikkor EDC 29. But when you look down the bezel, you can see you've got a little bit more material, so it is chunkier. It does have a larger battery though, so 2,500 milliamp hours versus 3,000 milliamp hours. I think that's also to basically have a separate, add those separate lenses in for the red and the amber LEDs. If you compare it to the Nikkor EDC 37, this thing pretty much dwarfs it. Got the Next Torch TA70 here, also has a smaller sort of bezel, and compared to a couple of my normal tube style flashlights, let's see how it compares to the Convoy S8. I'd say that's pretty much on par in terms of diameter, and yeah, P23i, Nikkor P23i. So yeah, I would say it's about the same as carrying a slightly wider Convoy S8 in your pocket, so it should be pretty easy, pretty comfortable. So here's a little close-up of the Scoutlite Vario Max 3000, and overall it's got a solid build quality, made of aircraft grade aluminium, smooth anodizing. Wish that it was a little grippier, but if you have a lanyard on there you should be fine. IPX6 waterproof, so rain and splashes won't bother it. And like I said, this flat style design really sits well in a pocket or a bag. So this light is operated via this sliding switch here plus the tail switch, and I really like how the sliding switch is way firmer than the one on the Scoutlite Vario GB2000 that I reviewed previously. It's great. I just thought it moved way too easily on that other model, and I really like that the main lighting mode here, that 3000 lumen mode, is dedicated to that front pivot point. So if you really need to activate that highest output mode in a hurry, you can just flick it to the front, or it should already be there, and then you can activate it by holding down that tail switch. The lock point is also here at the back, which I like. So, that's definitely something you're gonna, these two anyway, you're gonna be using them most often, especially in your pocket. You pop it into the lock. If we look at the tail, you've got the switch there, the tail switch, plus a USB-C charging port just underneath that rubber cover, and of course that lanyard attachment point here too. And there is also a battery indicator, so if you look here just to the side of the light, it's difficult to see, but you see those green LEDs show up, and it's also a charging indicator too. There is also this strong double-sided clip here, so you can use this light as a makeshift headlamp on your hat, and yeah, just tuck that straight into your pocket with the head sticking up. All right, so here's a little look under the head, and as you can see, you've got those three TIR lenses in there. You've got the main white LED there, high-powered LED. You've got the red LED and the amber with 2000K LED in there. And there's no official specs available on these LEDs, unfortunately. But yeah, I do think that the red and the amber LEDs are going to be so useful for nighttime use. So just a little run through of the UI. Now, of course, the lock mode, when you're in that lock mode, nothing happens other than the lights here on the side light up, telling you how much battery is left in the light. And when you pop it onto the front mode there, you've got memory mode, but you can press and hold, okay, to ramp up and down. So there's, let's have a look, low, medium, high. So when I pop it onto the main lighting mode here, just press once, it has memory mode. So I believe I had it in high mode before. So you can go low, medium, high, low, medium, high. And if you're in the light and you double press, there's a strobe mode in there as well. While the light is off, if you press and hold, you can get access to that 3000 lumen mode. That's the only way that you can actually activate it. In the middle pivot point here, there's also memory mode. So there's only two modes here. So basically just the yellow and the red. You can alternate between either of them by pressing and holding that tail switch, and it remembers which mode you were in last. So I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests with my Scoutlite Vario Max 3000, and you can see here with that 3000 lumen mode, get 1 minute of runtime before it steps down. I actually had to hold that button down for the duration of this test to sort of measure it, and you can see kind of an odd pattern where it goes back up again just after 1 minute, but then drops back down, stabilizes around 60%. And I continue to try reactivating the 3000 lumen mode over and over. And you can see steps down almost immediately through each subsequent activation. Here's a second ceiling bounce test on the 2000 lumen mode, so the high mode. And you can see you get 2 minutes of runtime on 2000 lumens, which I think is pretty good for a flat style flashlight like this with not a whole lot of heat sinking. And you can see just at the 2 minute mark, you're below 80% of output, and near the 6 minute mark, you're on about 60% output. Here's some tests I ran with my Opal Light Master Pro, and you can see here I measured 185 meters of range on the main white mode turbo, and even the high mode was pretty similar, 169 meters, CRI between 62 and 65. And the CCT was between 5,100 to 5,300. So kind of like a neutral, almost like a neutral white color there. And you can see the amber mode there and the red mode, both rated at 150 lumens. You'd still get a bit of range, so 24 meters, 16 meters of range. And the amber mode's a really nice yellow color, so it's 2,000, yeah, about 2,000K. So a couple of considerations if you're thinking of getting the Scoutlite Vario Max 3000. The first one is that they're using a plastic lens here. So yeah, I actually scratched the corner of it just to check, and it's not a huge deal given that these TIR lenses are not optimized for throw. They're more sort of for flood. But yeah, it would have been nice if they had used a bit of glass in there. Second consideration is that there's no replaceable battery in this light, but it does have a decent capacity of 3000 milliamp hours, which is higher than most flat style flashlights out there. So yeah, given you're not charging and recharging it every day, you know, it should last you a few years at least. The third consideration is that this momentary mode just takes a little bit too long to turn on, so 3000 lumens. So if I press it, you can see there's like a maybe like a 1 and a bit second delay. And yeah, I think in a tactical, an emergency situation, you know, you really want that thing to activate straight away. But still, I mean, that's better than not having it. And you've also, you know, with these red and amber modes, I wish you could adjust them up and down so you'd have some lower modes as well. Finally, I wish this light had a deep carry clip with the head facing down. So at the moment, if you're carrying it in your pocket, the head's going to be facing up. And I don't know, I just find that using it with the head down is easier, because when you grab the light, you're grabbing it in the, I guess, the natural position that you're going to hold the light anyway. So overall, if you want a compact, unique flashlight that packs a huge punch, and you do like the idea of that built-in red and amber light mode as well, the Scoutlite Vario Max 3000 is really fun. It's also quite a practical option if you ask me. I'm definitely going to be using the red and the amber mode quite often at night. And this isn't the type of light that's going to replace your long range thrower. You know, it doesn't, you know, nearly 200 meters I'd still say is impressive for a light of this size, but this is more for, I guess, general EDC camping. And yeah, just showing off something different, I guess. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you have questions about this light as well, just comment below and I'll get back to you. If you like this video, do me a favor, click the like button and share it with someone who might be interested. It just helps me to get my channel out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest news, make sure you subscribe. I've got the Scoutlite Vario Max, and this is on the main beam mode. And I've actually got it memorized on high, I believe. Yep, low, medium, high. Look at that. Love this beam profile. It's just so useful. You've got light all the way into your peripheral vision. Even the low mode is good enough. Fortunately, there is no kind of moonlight mode in here, but that's it. So low, medium, high. Now let's go into the turbo mode. So you kind of got to turn off and then press. So that's turbo. I mean, compared to the high mode, yeah, so that's low, medium, got high there, and then turbo. It's just a little more powerful. Okay, let's see high mode, and again the turbo, high, turbo. I do like as well how you can just leave it on like the lock and then flick the lock open to the top mode like that, and it will turn on straight away on high. You can also flick it onto the middle mode, which will also memorize this yellow beam or red beam. Doesn't show up so well on camera, but it's actually fantastic as a walking light. Get it to memorize the yellow. And there you go, that's the high mode again that it's memorized. We'll go for a bit of a walk. Scoutlite Vario Max 3000. This is the turbo mode, the main beam. I'm really digging this beam profile. It's just so practical. Have a lot of diffused flood and a hot spot in the center that nicely blends into the flood as well. And I can go through the kind of low, medium, high modes like that. So that's your high mode, and then compared to the turbo, I wouldn't say there's a huge difference, but definitely will give you that extra power, come in handy. And this is the red mode now, back here, and the yellow amber mode. For some reason the camera picks up the red light a lot better than the amber light, but yeah, it's just as effective at illuminating. And I'll go for a bit of a walk